Is there something you wish you had the nerve to do? Welcome to You've Got Nerve, the podcast that teaches you how to conquer your fears, upgrade your mindset, and get the nerve to go after whatever you want. If you wish you had the guts to go all in on your goals, dreams, and desires, this show is for you. I'm Master Certified Life Coach Susan Hyatt, and I am so excited for you to join me on this journey. Hi, welcome to You've Got Nerve, and our first guest today is Autumn. So Autumn is struggling with confidence and body image issues. You know this is near and dear to my heart, and if you've ever struggled with not being able to find anything to wear, hiding from events and friends because you don't like how you look, this episode is for you. So I hope you enjoy being a little fly on the wall while I coach Autumn on gaining confidence around her body. Autumn, you and I were messaging a little bit about what's going on for you. And my initial question is so that everyone listening and watching knows, what are you trying to get up the nerve to do right now?
I'm trying to get up nerve in general, confidence in general, but I feel like a big part of that is like wardrobe and being comfortable with my body and being comfortable with my body as it is, not how I wish it was or how I want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think wow, what a great distinction to make. This is something that I talk about all the time, and I appreciate that you are already so self-aware to understand that it's about how your body is appearing today and appreciating how it's appearing right now and adorning it for how it is right now. So when you think about how your body shows up today, what do you want to celebrate about it today?
I'm here today. Today is actually my best friend's birthday. She passed away of ovarian cancer in 2018 at 47.
Sorry. Wow.
Yeah. And so that was like a life pivoting moment for a million reasons.
Yeah.
I let my hair go gray after that. I just didn't feel like I had the luxury anymore of resisting aging, resisting my body. Like, I'm here, she's not.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a responsibility to like live life bigger, live life better.
So I'm tearing up. There's so much emotion behind your words. And I'm, first of all, so sorry for your loss, but what a beautiful way to celebrate your friend's legacy by saying, I'm going to live right now. And I'm often thinking about a book I read years and years ago that I quote all the time, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And when someone passes away that's so close to you, like your best friend, I have had both my mother and father-in-law pass away. And each time, especially when my father-in-law passed away, because he said the words to me, he said, you know, I was on my way to walk out the door and go on a trip to Paris with Cora. And he said, oh my gosh, like I couldn't get out of this hospital bed if I tried. And I saved my money my whole life so that one day Jenny, who is my mother-in-law, and I could travel. And she passed away much earlier than he did, unexpectedly, of cancer. And he was like, that day never came. And he said, tell your people not to wait. Tell your people, you know, to live and to go on the trip. And, you know, he did a lot of beautiful things in his life, raised an amazing family and did great work, but he had some regrets. And I remember leaving that hospital room thinking that I was even more empowered and more was going to be bolder. I was going to shout from the rooftops, like, get on the plane, get on the train, you know, wear the outfit, do whatever. And so it sounds like someone close to you, your friend dying, you were like, hey, I'm still here. What am I going to do? now? And what am I going to stop doing?
Absolutely. And because she was my age and she still had children at home, it was also like, what happens in my world if something happens to me? Mm-hmm. And what do I want to leave behind? And what do I want people to remember about me? It was a very identity shifting kind of a time. But I still find myself hiding, right? I still find myself not showing up for the things, not doing the things, not having the confidence for the things. And so that's what I want to change.
So if you did have the confidence, let's say because of this interview and because of, can you see my kitten? Can you see Harry? Harry Spice is here for general support. He's an emotional support kitten. But you leave this podcast episode or you leave the Summer of Yes program having the nerve, right? You let your hair go gray. You are making changes in your life to be like, you know what? This is the body I have. This is the life that I have. What do I want to stop doing? What do I want to do? If you had the nerve, what would we see happening in your life?
I think I would show up, and clothing is a representation of showing up for me. Maybe not for other people, but for me, it is a representation of showing up. When I'm hiding at home in, t-shirt and shorts, and there's nothing wrong with t-shirt and shorts, right? But when I'm hiding at home in t-shirt and shorts, I'm not promoting my book. I'm not getting online saying the things. I'm not doing the things. And I feel like if I dressed better, that I would do better. That I would treat myself better, that I would eat better, that I would, do all of the things better.
Right. And so if you're not, and I agree with you, I mean, I think how we adorn ourselves needs to feel, the feeling state of how we're adorning ourselves needs to match whatever it is that we're wanting to do. So there's definitely a time and a place for sweats and t-shirts and all those things. But there's a real energy to what we put against our skin. And I often say that it could be anything that you want to wear, but years and years ago, and you've seen me show up to classes sometimes in my workout gear that when I first started running this company, I was learning to think of myself as an athlete. I was going from being a professional couch potato, really, to becoming a woman who celebrated how I could move my body right now. And so wearing workout clothes the whole day, I would work out first thing in the morning, still do. And wearing my sweaty workout clothes, to many people, they're like, gross. But to me, it was empowering. Like, look at me. I'm an actual athlete. Okay. I actually moved and sweated today. It's not athleisure. This is actually stuff that I am working out in. And then, I've gone through phases where it's like, no, I actually need to shower and get dressed up today because the energy that I want to bring to this webinar or this class or this TEDx talk or whatever it might be, is more power mode or embodying a different confidence. And so when you think about the feeling state that if you were to allow yourself to be fully seen, what's the feeling state you would want to feel and exude or embody?
I really feel like it's confidence. I feel like it's like a sureness, a steadiness, a focus on the task at hand instead of like, this jumper makes my stomach look bigger and I don't like it. Or, what I mean? All the thoughts that we have that are so draining.
They're draining and distracting. And it's just like, for what?
Exactly. And isn't that the whole point? I was on the beach this winter and all these people were walking by, and you don't intend to judge people who are walking by. It's something that's happening kind of for me in the back of my brain. I'm watching people walk by, and this gorgeous woman walks by, this not gorgeous woman walks by. And I was just thinking to myself, like, how much time and effort I wasted in my life, right? Worrying about how I was going to look on the beach for someone to see me for 10 seconds as I walk by.
Right. Right. It's insanity what we do. That it's like,
it is.
Yeah. There's a picture. You're making me remember there is a photo, a Polaroid photo from my 13th birthday party, which was, I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, and a real inexpensive birthday party to throw. My mom would put us all in the station wagon and take us to the beach for the day with like a bucket of fried chicken. I loved it though. Anyway, I had this new swimsuit on that was a one piece. And I want to say, I was the tiniest little girl. I weighed probably at 13 years old, maybe 85, 90 pounds. I'm only 5'3". And there's a picture of me with the group of girls from my birthday party where I am visibly sucking in this non-existent belly, to the point that my one piece, it looks like it's just full of air. It's like it's gaping. There's nothing there. And I remember just wanting to look as skinny as possible at 13. For what? Right? We're so entrenched in diet culture and patriarchy and white supremacy that when we start to unwind this stuff like you are and saying like, hey, my friend was 47, no longer here. I'm here. Do I really want to spend my time obsessing about what some stranger on the beach might think should their gaze fall my way? Yeah.
And that's what we really do. I mean, that's what it really boils down to. And it was quite a moment to be like, what have I been doing all of this for? It was definitely another layer.
So if you're something that we've been talking about, I know, in the Summer of Yes class is turning heads, but like turning your own head, um, capturing your own gaze, uh, being happy and confident with your reflection and what you see, not because your body is doing anything different, but because you're alive, because you're there, because you can appreciate, right, what you said in the beginning. I'm here. I have this opportunity to live this life. So if it's confidence you want to exude, what is something that you noticed lately that you want to stop thinking and replace with a confident mantra or thought?
So before I went to the glass fusing class I told you about yesterday, I think I tried on every single thing in my closet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was drama. There was mental drama.
It was drama on lots of levels. And I'm too temperature sensitive in the summer in Michigan. I have to wear shorts. So I kind of had to give that up a long time ago. Like, I just can't wear long pants in the summer. I'll die. Same with sleeves, right? I had to give that up. So I've kind of made peace with those things. It would be the judgment about my stomach. Mm-hmm. And what my stomach looks like in shirts and what my stomach looks like in shorts. I think that's like, I've kind of made peace with other areas of my body, kind of a little bit at a time, but that's the part that I struggle with. So just the judging thoughts about that, like that looks like crap because my stomach is too big, or my shirt's wrinkled there because my stomach is too big, or all those things.
And so what's interesting is that a lot of the work that I do with women around body image, one of the homework assignments I give, and I'm going to give it to you, is to go through your closet. And you already did some of this to get dressed, but to go through and anything that doesn't feel amazing on if it doesn't fit, it's got to be stored away. Because ambition sizing or sort of collecting multiple sizes can be harmful in different ways. But like going through your closet with a critical eye and being brutal about like, does this garment spark joy? Does it dial up confidence? Or you could have other categories too, right? You can have loungewear, of course. But anything that doesn't fit you right now and feel amazing and loving and energetically fabulous on you, it's got to go. The next thing I have to say though is if you were to ask your stomach how it's trying to help you, what's the first thing that pops into your mind?
It's protective.
Mm. And does that protective layer want you to know something today?
I think it makes a lot of sense to have a protective layer for a million reasons. I think it makes sense that it's there.
Mm. Do you currently need to be protected?
That's a good question. I'm arguing in my brain with myself at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's a yes and a no. It's a yes because that's scary, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a no because I'm really at a point in life where my kids are grown and gone, and it's everything is up to me now. It's
so is that the protection right now is for the belief everything's up to me now?
That would be hilarious if it was true. I think it could be true. Yeah.
When you think everything's up to me, what feeling comes up for you?
I'm laughing because this is a sentence that my husband said to me in the middle of an argument that is actually like in the introduction of the book that I wrote. And that sentence is actually, just a break, a spot where, the straw that breaks the camel's back, but the camel keeps limping because it doesn't know it's broken. Yeah. It's a scary place to be when everything is up to you.
And how old is that thought? Everything's up to me now.
That was 2014. But I think that as an oldest daughter, I think I've had a flavor of that most of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if everything is up to you, but it's peaceful?
Mm-hmm. I can work on that.
I mean, like being open to the possibility that, well, if everything's up to me, hot damn. Or what if everything isn't up to you?
I like the idea of everything not being up to me. That feels kind of like a mantle off of the shoulders, like okay. That we all carry, right? Yeah. We're moms, we're wives, we carry that mantle.
You mean that invisible workload backpack?
Yep. So there's some relief with that, I think, that could be there. And I think it would be nice to make peace with that and see it as a positive, not as a negative, not as a burden.
So what if only what you want to be up to you is up to you?
That's better. That I get to choose what's up to me.
Yeah, you really do. And if you get to choose what you're responsible for, can you allow your stomach to be what it is, how it is.
It's hard to see them as connected, but obviously they are, because
Mm,
that's what came up.
mm,
So it's hard to see those two things as connected. But I think if I see them through the lens of over responsibility,
mhm.
I think I can see a connection between the two.
Well, over responsibility and so you asked your stomach what it most wanted you to know, and that's how we came up with everything's up to me, which has taken different variations over your lifetime. As the oldest, all sorts of thoughts of things being up to you in childhood, and then with kids and family, and now here you are, um getting to decide what's going to be up to you. And then the other piece of it is you hanging your acceptance of your body on your stomach, right? So
Yeah.
your stomach is like, oh, it's all up to me. I better appear a certain way
Mm-hmm.
for Autumn to love me. And so the work that's not overnight is saying to your stomach, like, hey, we're here on the same side. It's not up to you to do anything different in order for me to not judge you. Because you learn that judgment somewhere. Yeah. What would it be like to get dressed and move through the world and being like, yep, there's my stomach, just like neutral about it?
It sounds so ridiculous to say it out loud, Susan, but I feel like it would change everything. I
Mm,
feel like it would change how what I choose to wear. I think it would change how I showed up if I wasn't always so distracted or worried about it or judging. I think that I would walk taller. You know what I think?
mhm.
Like, I think that like every movement through the day would be different, because I wouldn't be, because it's kind of like a nagging thought in the back of my mind,
And the
like,
thought is my stomach should what?
oh, my stomach shouldn't look like that.
Mm,
It shouldn't be that big. It should be
mm,
smaller, all of the things.
mhm. And of course, we know where you got those ideas. I mean, right? We
Right.
understand that culture at large has taught us that, and it really depends, right? It depends on the decade. It depends on lots of things. I honestly am always surprised, even though I've seen these images before and looked at them multiple times. But when you go and look at like popular pinups of women from the 40s, 50s, 60s, even Sophia Loren, they did not have flat stomachs. That's like a newer thing. That
Mm-hmm.
is a much newer thing. And it over the decades has, now it's, you have to have a six pack or,
Right.
whatever insert culture at large is ideal. And so it's a radical act, Autumn, to be a woman saying, okay, I understand where this all came from, and I'm going to love myself and give the patriarchy the middle finger. I mean, it is a radical act to say, I'm just going to let my stomach do what it's going to do and see what happens when I start telling it things that are loving instead of hateful. And how it chooses to appear, we don't know. Um, But the only thing you can control is how you think about it and you adorn it. Now, I have a different kind of question for you.
Okay.
When you think about how you said it would probably change everything, it would probably change everything for me. What do you imagine the life result? Like when we talk about being the woman with the stories, not the regrets, what kind of life results will be different in embracing your stomach?
I think there are places I avoid going and things I avoid doing because I don't like the way that I look.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Like what? Give me an example.
we live on the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have a two-piece bathing suit that has like a tank top cover up, right? I always wear that. I don't ever wear the two-piece by itself. I did the other day. I laid in the hammock with it on, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly sheltered.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one or two people saw me out there, right? But I mean, like, what would it like? It's really hard to imagine what it would be like to be riding on the boat in a two-piece and not being self-conscious or not being worried about it, just being able to be relaxed. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a big part of it too, right? Is that I'm always so tense about how I look that I don't relax and I'm not as present as I would like to be. So I
Mm-hmm.
imagine myself being a lot more present in my life. I
Mm-hmm.
imagine myself just doing things and enjoying them without all of this background drama and mind talk.
Mm. So you would ride on the boat. You know, I'm a lake person, so I'm all about this. You would ride on the boat and, not be stressed out about it. Um, what else? I know there's more. Where else would you show up?
Well, I think I would just show up for my business in general. I think I would take more action. Like to me, it's like a cycle, right? Like a confidence cycle. If I could feel more confident in my body, I think that confidence would carry me to the next thing as I'm building confidence in that, and then the next,
Yeah.
and then the next.
Truly, when I talk about the more fun I have, the more money I can make, or, you don't need more willpower, you need more pleasure. And it is fascinating how when I help women feel great in their own skin, absolutely what you're saying, you can show up for your business differently, and that attracts more business in a way that is just more rewarding than like, okay, let me go figure out this strategy funnel over here, which I'm not saying there's not a place for strategy and funnels and all sorts of marketing things, but none of it can work in the way that it could work unless we're showing up feeling great in our own skin. And it absolutely does affect. I'm talking to lots of people today about this topic, and it keeps people from showing up for photo shoots for their book cover, and it keeps people from doing book signings, and it keeps like and on a day-to-day level, I wonder what your friend would say about your cover up. What would she say?
She would give me the dismissive hand wave.
Like
She would. She just had this kind of like just this hand wave that I can't do. It was just kind of a dismissive thing, like not even to be spoken of, not even to be bothered with. It didn't matter at all. Just the dismissive hand wave.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you willing? I have a couple of different things. Three things. Are
Okay.
you willing to go out on the boat with no cover up
Yep.
this weekend?
I can do that.
Okay. Will you report back to us?
Yep. I can do that.
Are you willing to go through your closet and decide to box up anything or donate anything that doesn't fit you, that doesn't delight you?
I'm a minimalist by nature, so that sounds good to me. That's appealing.
Okay.
Yep.
And then are you willing, if we set you up with someone who is skilled in the styling department, are you willing to work with someone who is body positive to help you find some things that feel amazing?
I would be super grateful, super grateful.
And are you willing to carry with you through the process the belief, try on the belief that I'm learning to be a woman who is devoted to her own pleasure and not her appearance?
That's really a big paradigm shift. It really is. When you say that, like it's a whole new way of looking at the world. We're just so socialized to look at the world through our appearance,
Mm-hmm.
like what we're allowed to have based on our appearance,
Oh,
what we're
sure.
allowed to do, what we're allowed to achieve based on our appearance. So to take your appearance out of the equation is wild. It's
It
wild.
is wild. It's like our appearance is for our own gaze, not the male gaze. And we're taught that our currency is how appealing we are to the male gaze. And so, like, even in my own home, I have had to continuously say to Scott Hyatt, like, sure, I might wear something because I think it would be great if you thought I looked great in it, but this dress is for me. Or,
Mhm.
you know, this bathing suit is for me, or this whatever. And it is difficult for most men as well to get that like, because they're raised to believe that a woman's appearance, bodies are consumable and they're for their own pleasure, right? And for their own entertainment. And so to that paradigm shift, like, this is for me, this is for what is pleasing to me, it is transformative. It will change the way that you adorn your body. And I'm really excited to see through this work what comes up, like what your style ends up being, because we don't know yet.
I don't know that. I mean, that is a huge part of it. Like, who am I now? And what does she look like? And what does she do? And yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Whew, so good. So, I think in closing for today, we'll do a follow up with you if you're willing to
Yeah.
do a sequel. Like, where is Autumn now? Um, but what is your biggest hope? What's your highest intention as you set out to do this homework?
I think it's again, I could just keep going back to the word confidence, but like it's like finding confidence is like finding a piece of yourself
Mm-hmm.
after you sort through all of the rubble of all of the societal expectations of size and weight and all of the things. Like, what if you just pushed all that away and you could just see who you were and who you wanted to be? Like,
Mm.
that just, yeah, I think that would be amazing.
Who do you want to be above all else, Autumn?
It's so funny because we automatically put it into like a writer, right? I want to
Mm-hmm.
be a writer. I love being a writer. I'm a book coach. I love being a book coach. I love coaching. Like, I love those things. But more than that, I think that I want to be somebody who is kind to herself.
Mm. If that's all you do today, you're winning. You're winning. Mm. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to today's episode of You've Got Nerve. I hope this episode has inspired you to get the courage and confidence to go after everything you want. And listen, if you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening. Your reviews really mean the world to me. And when you review the podcast, we have the potential to reach even more people who want to get up the nerve to create what they crave and become unstoppable. Is there something you need to get the nerve to do? The first step is saying yes to yourself, yes to what you want, and yes to whatever it is you crave. If you're interested in being in a 6-month mastermind where it's me a couple times a month coaching you on your goals and your dreams with 15 other amazing women, plus a weekend retreat in Savannah, Georgia, check out the application in the show notes. We are forming the Beyond Mastermind to go beyond. Excited for the next episode of You've Got Nerve, but don't want to wait a whole week? Get motivational texts from me to help you gain more courage and confidence in your life. Just text me at 812-408-1823. And if you've got a question for me, we're adding some special Q&A episodes of You've Got Nerve in the near future, and we're looking for listeners to participate. You can send a voice message of your question by visiting you'vegotnervepodcast.com. That's all for today's episode of You've Got Nerve. Now it's time to go and get what you want. More confidence, more money, more energy, more pleasure. Go after your goals like never before because you've got the nerve.